The screaming corridor, doorway to hell. Eleanor stood before the decaying house, its windows black voids staring into her soul. A frigid wind whispered her name as the door creaked open on its own. The corridor stretched unnaturally long, shadows slithering across the walls. Faint screams echoed from nowhere, growing louder with every step she took. As she turned, the door had vanished. Only endless darkness remained. The walls expanded and contracted, as if the house itself was alive. A sickly stench filled the air, something rotting behind the wallpaper. Fingers pushed through the peeling layers, twitching, clawing at the air. A whisper, cold and inhuman, hissed from behind her ear. "You belong to us now." Eleanor ran, but the corridor never ended. She stumbled into a room filled with mirrors, yet none reflected her. Instead, twisted versions of herself grinned with jagged, inhuman teeth. Their eyes bled black, and their mouths stretched open, whispering her worst fears. The walls melted, revealing hundreds of screaming, distorted faces. A hand shot from the mirror and pulled her inside. Eleanor landed in a tunnel of writhing flesh, pulsing like a heartbeat. Something slithered behind her, its wet, clicking movements growing closer. She turned and saw it, a limb-covered nightmare, dragging itself forward. Its stitched mouths chanted in unison, "Stay, stay, stay." It lunged, and darkness swallowed her whole. She woke beneath the floorboards, surrounded by rotting corpses that still moved. Their hollow eyes watched her, their lips murmuring secrets in reverse. Above, her own footsteps echoed, as if another Eleanor was walking freely. A crack split open in the wood, revealing her own face staring down at her. With a crooked grin, the other Eleanor whispered, "You don't exist anymore." She crawled through endless tunnels, hearing her own sobs echo ahead of her. The air thickened, turning into a viscous, suffocating black fog. She saw them, the ones who came before, their faces stretched into silent screams. A door appeared, marked in her own blood. The only way out. She opened it and fell into the abyss. She was outside, or so she thought. The world was twisted, the sky a pulsating red wound. People stood frozen, their mouths open in silent, endless screams. She turned and saw herself, smiling, her mouth an endless black void. Then the world devoured her whole.